Hello Giants fans, welcome to Giants Baseball 101. I'm Gabe Vaughn, your host. The Giants lost to the Tigers today 7-5. And I mean, like they're behind 4-1, and then JD Davis hit a 3-run homer in the 8th to tie it up at 4, and the Giants just couldn't get any more on after that. And in the 9th, Eric Koss made that error in the outfield for the Tigers it kept the Giants inning alive, and they had a chance to get at least one other run in that inning, but they couldn't do it. And then in the 10th, they got a run home, and, I was like thinking they should have gotten at least 2, but, they struck first in extra innings, which is better than they were doing just a lot of the time in 2022. A lot of it was just bad, where the best they do was getting out on either a bunt or a sacrifice fly or whatever and get the automatic runner over to third and not do anything. But, this time they were able to score a run on Lamont Wade Jr.'s 10th inning single, but Camilo Doval in the bottom of the 10th, he just completely blew it, giving up a 3-run homer to Nick Maton, which just lost the game for the Giants. And it's really concerning with the way that Doval is pitching right now. Taylor Rogers is one thing, and that's bad enough. But Doval is the Giants' closer. He's the number one reliever, I think, if you'd have to pick one. He'd be the guy that you'd say the Giants just have to count on. He's a hard thrower and all that, but if he can't hold on to his game, and if he can't, step up in the high-pressure situations, that's just not going to work for the Giants. And just historically, at least if you're talking about recently, the Giants have just been unable. They've been completely unable to hold on in extra inning situations. It's just bad. It's just terrible. And Doval has really been a standout as far as being a guy who just can't hold on to things for the Giants in extra innings. And this game was just a classic example of that. He got into a high pressure spot, and I believe he might have had 2 outs. It was either 1 or 2. He would have just had to make a few more good pitches and really be out of that, but he didn't. He allowed the home run to Nick Maton, and that's concerning because it's the second game this year that Doval has blown for the Giants, and I'm pretty concerned about that. And it's just he has the ability to escape high pressure situations sometimes, but he just gets smashed in a lot of others, and that's not going to be good for the Giants this year if they and he is really, there's no other reliever in the Giants' pen that would really be likely to present himself as a consistently great closer, and that to me is all that is really going to be acceptable for the Giants in those 9th inning situations, just having a consistently great closer. And Doval, with his tools, that great fastball and slider, he would definitely project to be that guy, but in action, if he can't execute properly, sometimes he's not, and that was certainly the case today. So that, as far as the Giants are concerned here, that is just very, very disturbing. What we've seen from Doval today. The Giants needed this game. He needed to close this one out, and it's really a lot of wasted effort by the Giants offense, including that home run from JD Davis. When the Giants are able to rally like they did today and get ahead, it's going to be highly critical for them that they don't blow those kinds of saves. That the games that the Giants need to win, or should win, or can reasonably be expected to win based on the circumstances, those are the games they need to actually win, and they really didn't do that today. So, highly disappointing. Not a good game. Last thing I wanted to talk about here is the 5-year contract extension the Giants gave Logan Webb for $90 million. And this does come after 3 bad starts this year. Very small sample compared to what he's done before. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But I mean, last night I called in to Tolbert and Copes, the Tolbert and Copes show on KNBR, and the first thing they did was got my name wrong. They thought my name was Dave, and then when I announced myself as Gabe Vaughn, the host of the Giants Baseball 101 podcast on YouTube, then they literally thought my name was Davon. And then, well, it was kind of a process straightening everything out and all that, but told them my name is Gabe Vaughn. I got to ask my question. Basically, I said, what is wrong with Logan Webb? And hey, they weren't really concerned. They said his track record was just better than this, and you can't judge it by 3 starts. And I agree. So if you're asking me, this contract extension with Webb, was it a good move? Well, the answer to that is yes, because just you take his 2022 and 2021 seasons, take each one of those as a whole and compare it with, he's got some adjustments to make in 2023, some disappointing performances on the board, but I think he can rebound. There's nothing bad about this decision to extend him. I would say the main question is whether the Giants should have waited a while longer just to, confirm that he's still looking like a long-term good pitcher for the Giants. I would say that's the main question, whether they should have waited on the contract. I mean, I don't think that there was some real deadline like you sign it now or else you can't extend Webb. But I think that, and this is just my opinion, but I think that in the long run, Webb has pretty much established himself, I think, as just a superstar pitcher of the future. And I think in the long run, whether or not it was best for the Giants to go in and sign into this thing right now, it really probably won't make a difference in the long run. It's going to, I think he's ultimately going to prove that it was worth it for the Giants to keep him, unless he runs into unexpected injuries, which could just mess everything up. Thank you for watching. This has been Giants Baseball 101. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please leave your questions and comments in the comments section. I will really try to get back to you on those. I'll see you next time on Giants Baseball 101.